I sat in my high school classroom, the air heavy with anticipation and unease. The intercom crackled to life, announcing a lockdown. Confusion swept through the room as we scrambled to our designated hiding spots, locking doors and turning off the lights. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the distant sounds of chaos echoing through the hallways. Time ticked by like an eternity as we huddled together, our whispered prayers mingling with the fear that gripped our hearts. Rumors spread like wildfire, each one more terrifying than the last. Fearful eyes met mine, reflecting the uncertainty that permeated the room. Suddenly, a muffled bang reverberated through the building, followed by the sound of footsteps drawing nearer. Panic surged through our veins as we realized the danger was getting closer. We held our breath, praying that our hiding place would go unnoticed. But fate had other plans. The door to our classroom swung open, revealing a figure dressed in black, their face obscured by a mask. The room erupted into screams and cries for help. Fear rooted me to the spot as I stared into the eyes of the intruder, a sickening realization dawning upon me. They were not here to save us. With cold calculation, the intruder began to taunt us, relishing in our terror. Their voice dripped with malevolence, savoring the power they held over us. They moved methodically, cornering us one by one, forcing us into a nightmare from which there seemed to be no escape. Time became a blur as the hours dragged on. The intruder reveled in our torment, toying with our fears. Their sadistic game intensified, pushing us to the brink of despair. We clung to the fragile hope that help would arrive, that someone would come to our rescue. As the sun began to set, the intruder's intentions became clear. They wanted to break us, to strip away our humanity. We fought to hold on to our sanity, forming a united front, refusing to succumb to the darkness that threatened to consume us. Then a sudden burst of noise shattered the tension, a distant siren growing louder with each passing second. Relief washed over us as we realized help had finally arrived. The intruder's facade wavered, their power slipping through their fingers. In the chaos that followed, the intruder was apprehended, their true identity unveiled. A former student filled with anger and resentment, they sought to exact revenge on the institution that they believed had failed them. As the lockdown ended and we emerged from our hiding places, a mix of emotions flooded through me: relief, exhaustion, and a lingering sense of trauma. We were survivors, forever marked by the harrowing experience that had unfolded within the walls of our school. In the aftermath, the community rallied together, determined to heal and rebuild. Measures were put in place to ensure the safety and well-being of students, to prevent such horrors from ever happening again. But scars remained, a constant reminder of the darkness that can lurk even in the most unexpected places. The high school lockdown became a defining moment in our lives, a stark reminder of the fragility of our existence and the resilience of the human spirit. We emerged stronger, united by a shared experience that would forever shape our perception of the world. And as we moved forward, we carried with us the knowledge that even in the face of unimaginable horror, hope and solidarity can prevail. I sat in my high school classroom, the air thick with tension and unease. The intercom crackled to life, announcing a lockdown. Confusion and fear swept through the room as we hurriedly followed the protocol, locking doors, turning off lights, and huddling in silence. Outside, the distant sounds of chaos grew louder, a cacophony of footsteps, anguished cries, and the piercing wail of sirens. Panic twisted in my gut as my mind raced with horrifying possibilities. Was it an armed intruder, a violent threat within our own walls? Time dragged on, each passing minute feeling like an eternity. The stifling silence was broken only by the anxious whispers of my classmates and the pounding of my heart. Fear painted a portrait of vulnerability on our faces as we clung to the hope of safety. Then, a bone-chilling sound cut through the stillness, a slow, deliberate scratching at the door. The blood in my veins turned to ice as I exchanged terrified glances with my classmates. The scratching continued, growing louder and more insistent, gnawing at our sanity. Suddenly, the door swung open with a force that reverberated through the room. A figure dressed in tattered clothes stood in the doorway, their face obscured by shadows. The light from the hallway cast an eerie glow on their hollow eyes, their presence exuding malevolence. A scream tore through the room, shattering the fragile tranquility. Chaos erupted as we scrambled to escape. I felt a cold hand grab my ankle, yanking me back into the room. Desperation fueled my fight, and I managed to break free, scrambling toward the window. Outside, the school was transformed into a nightmare landscape. Students running in panic, teachers attempting to restore order, and the figure in the doorway disappearing into the chaos. The sounds of sirens wailed closer, but the sense of danger lingered, the feeling of being hunted. As we were evacuated to safety, we discovered the horrifying truth. A former student, consumed by rage and resentment, had orchestrated the attack. He had bypassed security measures and unleashed terror upon the very place he once called home. In the days that followed, the school community was haunted by the event. The building bore the scars, bullet holes, shattered windows, and a palpable sense of vulnerability. We attended therapy sessions, mourning the loss of innocence and grappling with the lingering trauma. But amid the darkness, a flicker of resilience emerged. We banded together, supporting one another through the healing process. We refused to let fear dictate our lives, vowing to rebuild our sense of security and trust. Slowly, the halls regained their familiarity, but the memory of that terrifying day would forever linger. Years later, as I reflect on the high school lockdown, I am reminded of the fragility of life and the resilience of the human spirit. Our shared experience forged bonds that cannot be broken, a testament to our ability to overcome even the most harrowing of situations. The lessons learned that day are etched in our hearts: to cherish the moments of safety, to be vigilant, and to nurture the connections that bring us strength. The high school lockdown was a chilling reminder that evil can infiltrate even the most ordinary of places, but it also served as a testament to the indomitable spirit of a community united in the face of darkness. The classroom hummed with the sound of students immersed in their studies when the intercom erupted with an urgent announcement: a lockdown. Panic snaked its way through the room as desks were pushed against the door, plunging us into a stifling darkness. Silence settled over us, amplifying the pounding of my heart. Minutes stretched into an eternity, and whispers of uncertainty filled the air. The faint sound of sirens grew louder, mingling with the muffled footsteps echoing outside the classroom. Fear held us captive, its grip tightening with every passing second. Suddenly, a sharp crack pierced the stillness. The door rattled violently as if someone was desperately trying to break in. The air grew stagnant as we held our breath, praying for safety. A chilling voice drifted through the door, whispering promises of unspeakable horrors. The intruders' relentless assault continued, the door straining against their relentless force. Panic consumed us as we realized our vulnerability, trapped in a classroom transformed into a makeshift prison. We exchanged glances, searching for courage within each other's eyes. With a resounding crash, the door burst open, and a figure cloaked in darkness stood before us. Their malevolent gaze swept over the room, relishing in our terror. I could feel the room suffocating under their presence, a heavy weight pressing upon our chests. The intruder prowled the room, taunting us with sadistic pleasure. Their twisted smile and hollow laughter echoed through the air, sending chills down our spines. They reveled in our fear, enjoying the power they held over us. Time became distorted, a blur of terror and desperation. The intruder forced us into a nightmarish game of cat and mouse, toying with our emotions. We clung to the faint hope that help would arrive, that our nightmare would come to an end. But as minutes turned into agonizing hours, our hope waned. The intruder's presence grew more sinister, their demands escalating with each passing moment. They forced us to confront our deepest fears, exploiting our vulnerabilities and tearing away the facade of safety. In the depths of despair, a flicker of resilience emerged within us. We refused to be broken, finding strength in our unity. With a surge of determination, we fought back against the intruders' sadistic games, refusing to let them define us. In a final act of defiance, we launched a desperate counterattack. The classroom erupted into chaos as we overpowered the intruder, their mask slipping away to reveal a face twisted with rage and resentment. We were face to face with a fellow student, driven to madness by unseen demons. As the authorities swarmed the school, our ordeal came to an end. We emerged from the lockdown, battered and scarred, but with a newfound appreciation for life and resilience. The walls of our high school bore witness to the haunting echoes of that day, a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside within the hearts of those we least expect. In the aftermath, we became a community bound by shared trauma. We supported one another, healing the wounds inflicted by that harrowing experience. The lockdown became a turning point, a catalyst for change, as we vowed to create a safer, more compassionate environment for future generations. The memory of that fateful high school lockdown remains etched in our minds, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a community that refused to be broken. We emerged stronger, united by our shared survival, forever changed by the disturbing events that unfolded within the confines of our own school.